Hey y'all, let's take care of some business before we get into the Bucket of Popcorn podcast. This podcast brought to you by Hybrid Total Fitness at 5504 Bandera Road, 618. That's suite number 618. You can find them online at Hybrid Total Fit on Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff. Learn it, love it, live it, lift it. Hybrid Total Fitness. Big shout out. Thank you very much. Let's get into the podcast. Welcome to the Bucket of Popcorn podcast, where we're going to talk about...
I did not hit her. I did not.
And... Ricky! There'll also be some...
What's with kids today, huh? No respect.
And most definitely a lot of... So it's either Josh and Deb, Josh, someone else, Deb and someone else, Josh, Deb, and someone else, or someone else altogether. Welcome to the Bucket of Popcorn podcast. Hey, welcome back to the Bucket of Popcorn podcast. I'm Josh, and with me as always...
I'm Deb.
And today we're going to talk about... I know we were talking about doing movies on here, but this is still a new fledgling project that we're doing. And we're going to talk about a series on Netflix.
Yes. Can I say the name?
Yeah, go ahead and say the name.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones Season 2.
Season 2.
Now available on Netflix. I know some people binge watched it that first day. It took us a couple of days.
Yeah, I didn't want to get to it through too fast.
Yeah. And so we saw it. And are we going to talk about spoilers? Or are we just going to talk about the series? Let's do some backstories. That way people know. I loved the first Jessica Jones.
I was
first
just about
season.
to say that.
Go ahead.
Because I loved the first season. It had a lot of action in it. And it had a lot of story.
Deb's under the weather if you wonder why she's like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That, and after she brushes her teeth, she gargles with gravel, apparently.
Don't make me laugh, because then I'll start coughing.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just keep this completely boring then.
See? Okay, sorry, guys.
Okay, so, as Deborah takes another drink of Woodchuck, this podcast not brought to you by Woodchuck.
Woodchuck is very good.
You're not supposed to give away free sponsorships or free recommendations,
Okay, I'm
endorsements.
Sorry. It's not good.
You're not supposed to talk bad about him either. Anyway, so going back to Jessica Jones on Netflix, Season 1. We loved Season 1.
Yes.
And Season 2 had... Season 2 had all the things that Season 1 had, but it just didn't click for me.
To me,
I mean, we're already getting into the rating, not the numerical rating on it, but I mean,
I liked it. I liked the story. I like where they were going with it.
But
there was too much girl power for me.
Wait a minute.
Spice Girls.
Too much
I'm
Spice
all
Girls?
for Spice Girls, girl power. Woo, girls. But it was too much. It was too much of a... The guys were all like, I'm a guy and I'm not going to let a girl beat me up. And the girl was like, I'm a girl and I could do whatever you do, but I could do it better. That's all I saw throughout the whole show. And I'm all, like I said, I'm all for girl power, but I don't want it thrown in my face. And that's basically what this season was.
Man, you sound horrible.
I know.
But no, I'm going to have to agree with you. There was a lot of male, almost, would you say male bashing? No, not really. Not male bashing.
It wasn't male bashing. It was just a more of a, even though I'm a girl, I can do it better. Which
is fine because, I mean, I've got my mom, my 4 sisters. Most of my bosses in my life have all been female. I'm not one of these
Your
men.
wife is a female.
Yes. Even though she sounds very manly right now. I'm not one of those guys that are, just because I'm male makes me better or whatever type thing. But yeah, this series had a whole bunch of that.
It did. And
I don't want to say anti-male.
It wasn't anti-male.
Way too pro-female. Lopsided.
And it wasn't political. I didn't see political in it either, but there was a lot of, I don't know, it was just different from the first season. And first season had nothing like that. Jessica Jones was just a badass. She was.
Don't look at me when you're talking. Look at the mic.
Where are we cussing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, she was a badass in the first season. And in the second season, she was a badass too. And more of the girl power wasn't from Jessica Jones. It was everybody else.
I thought she was kind of weak in this season.
Yeah, like she like cried about. That was another thing I wanted to say. Like a lot of these superheroes are like, oh, I'm so sad because I got all these powers and this is not the kind of life I would have loved to have. Like the power that she has.
What were you telling me about Iron Man?
Oh, Iron Man. He's just like, I'm Iron Man, bitches. And everybody else is like, oh, you can't see, you can't. I don't want you to know who I am for real.
Why?
Because Iron Man didn't care. Iron Man was just like, you don't like me, then fuck you, I don't care. and Batman and everybody else is just like, I don't want you to know who
Jessica
I am.
Jones wasn't hiding who she is or anything like that, but
she was hiding her power. She's a badass. I would love to be able to fucking. I'm sorry, I'm cussing. I shouldn't be cussing, but I would love to have the powers that she has and be strong and stop buses with one hand and be fast and jump out of buildings.
All right, so now we're going to get into the point because Deborah's getting a little unhinged right here.
I'm sorry, the season just, I don't know, she was like crying about it so much.
It struck a nerve with you.
Yes.
No, but we will get into the spoiler zone. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers. Before we go into the spoilers, what would you rate this season? Remember, we out of 5 buckets of popcorn.
I give it a 3.
A 3?
A 3. Because it still had the action stuff in there, but if she wasn't whiny too much, if she wasn't have been as whiny as she was in season 2, then I would have gave it a 5.
Wow, but she was whiny.
She was whiny.
I'll agree with you. I'll give it a 3. I mean, I liked it, but it was better than Iron Fist.
Yes, and Iron Fist, he was whiny too.
There's a whole bunch of whining now.
Yes,
we have enough whining in the real world.
Let's superheroes.
Let's escape the real world and watch a comic, a superhero thing. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, no.
So in this one, there is something going around killing the other supers. The other people like Jessica. And they do make a couple of references to like Captain America and superhero team-ups and stuff like that. And I think there's a couple of Spider-Man references in there. But so there's somebody going around killing people from the same project as Jessica. And do we go into full spoilers?
I don't know.
Well, it's halfway through. Come to find out that the killer is actually Jessica's mother who's alive. And she was also an experiment. And that was the thing. That was one of the things that we were talking about. The person that gave Jessica her powers through experiments, and it was unethical and illegal, was doing it for... You come to find out he wasn't a bad guy. He's not the bad guy. But,
just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. I can do the voice now.
No, you can't do the voice.
Okay.
But the thing was that he was doing it to help people, and it wasn't out of a selfish reason or anything like that.
Yeah.
But he was doing good things in a bad way because it was illegal, I guess. If he would have been in another country, he could have did it over there. Mm-hmm. But... There's a whole bunch of times. There's a whole bunch of instances in this where, kind of like in The Last Jedi, where it's not black and white. There's a whole bunch of different levels of gray in between in there. I'm not going to say shades. A whole bunch of different levels of gray in between there, because there's bad things done for a good reason, and there's good things done for a bad reason. Good things done a bad way. Bad things done a good way. Yeah. And it's just showing you that there's not... And sometimes that's what you need. you need the pure bad guy, pure good guy, and the pure evil bad guy in a story. Because I think that's, I mean, while it's cool to see that things aren't always black and white, it's getting drawn out. There's a whole, people are doing that way too much now, of the good guy is a bad guy and the stone cold, if you will.
Yes, I agree.
You okay over there?
Yes, I was gonna say something and I forgot what I was gonna say. I had it in my head while you were talking,
and my conversation there lost it for you. And there's a story with Malcolm. Malcolm was the junkie in part 1 that she helped clean up. I think he was like the highlight. Him and Jerry Hogarth, which is Trinity from The Matrix. I forgot her name. Oh man,
I don't know
the
her
lawyer.
name. Yeah.
I think they're the highlights of the series, to be honest with you, Malcolm and Jerry. For me, there's a story for each one of them. There's a story for Jessica. There's a story for Trish. There's a story for Trish's mom. There's a story for Jessica's mom. There's a story for the scientist.
There's a story for everybody, and I liked where they were going with the stories, and I liked the stories and everything, but I just...
There's a story for Simpson, who comes back from season 1.
I just didn't like how...
There's a story for this random private investigator that's harassing Jessica.
He was one of the ones that was like, oh, you're a girl and I'm better. And
they did the girl-guy thing there.
Yeah.
And then the new superintendent... Is that what they call him? Superintendent of the building? The super... Not super as in superpowered, but super as in
the hotel.
The
apartment.
Apartment super. And she has to move a refrigerator for him, and that starts the whole girl power thing. So I see what you're talking about, Deb. Yeah,
I don't like that. If it's part of the story, I mean, fine, okay, but don't throw it in our faces
constantly.
Yes,
constantly.
Once or twice, girl, yeah, okay, I get it, I see it, but. Yeah.
But all right, so we both give it 3 buckets of popcorn here on the Bucket of Popcorn podcast. And I think that's all we got. We're like right at 12 minutes, right under 12 minutes, right around 12 minutes. And I think we should cut it there. What do you think?
I agree.
All right, so we'll get back to reviewing movies.
Yes, we just wanted to watch this one because we love the first one.
Yeah. And that's all we got. So Jessica Jones on Netflix. Marvel's Jessica Jones on Netflix. Season 2. I give it a 3. Deb gives it a 3. And what?
I still recommend for people to watch it. I mean, it's still a good series, a second season, but I still give it a 3.
All right. So we're going to have a number rating where we think people shouldn't see stuff. Is that like 2 and low?
Yeah, I think 2 and low.
Oh, okay.
3 is still...
worth watching.
Worth watching on your time pace.
2.5 you can still watch?
I think under 3 is...
I'm saying under 2, but that's just my opinion. All right, so until next time, I'm Josh.
I'm Deb.
And this is the Bucket of Popcorn podcast. Look for us online, Facebook, Twitter,
and
Instagram.
iTunes.
Oh, yeah, we're on iTunes also. Thanks for reminding me, Deb. All right, so until next time, thanks for your time, and peace.
Bye, everybody.
Did you say pie?
I said bye.
Ooh, let's go to McDonald's and get a pie.